was fundamentally changed? Who was this man really? A terrorist? A leader? Or just a misguided soul born at the wrong time? This path from a wealthy heir to the world's most wanted, was it just a story of blood and guns? Or is there something deeper, something unknown, that the media's cameras never captured? How much of what you think you know is actually true? In this video, we'll explore the mysterious chapters of Osama bin Laden's life. Chapters filled with danger, betrayal, secret missions, and a final outcome that shocked the entire world.
My country is at war. I decided to come here.
This isn't just history. It's a real-life thriller. Let's begin a thrilling journey where the truth is sometimes more unbelievable than fiction. Family background: a royal rise. Osama bin Laden was born in 1957 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. His family history was not like most ordinary families. His father, Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden, was an extraordinarily wealthy and influential man. He started as a simple laborer after moving to Saudi Arabia from Yemen. But his hard work and intelligence turned him into one of Saudi Arabia's top construction contractors. Mohammed bin Laden was very close to the Saudi royal family. His company, the Bin Laden Group, was trusted with large projects, like the renovation of the holy sites in Mecca and Medina. Mohammed bin Laden had 22 wives and 54 children, and Osama was his 17th son. This family prestige and immense wealth set Osama's life on a different path from the very beginning. He didn't grow up in poverty or hardship, but in a truly royal environment. Education and early religious and political influences. Osama bin Laden's education was typical for a child from a wealthy family. He attended an elite school in Jeddah and later earned a degree in economics and business administration from King Abdulaziz University. It's also said that he studied civil engineering. However, the biggest influence on his life was the university environment. At that time, there was a major shift in religious and political thought across the Middle East. Many of his teachers and fellow students believed in Islamic conservatism and pan-Islamic ideologies. Osama was influenced by them. At this time, he came into contact with groups like the Muslim Brotherhood, who advocated for the political application of Islam. During this period, he met the Islamic scholar and academic Abdullah Azzam. Azzam was a Palestinian theologian who wanted to revive the concept of jihad. He was the first to encourage Osama to follow the path of jihad. From Azzam, Osama learned that jihad was not just a means of self-defense, but a political and ideological struggle. These ideas gradually took root in his mind and gave him a new political identity. The Soviet-Afghan War. In 1979, when the Soviet Union attacked Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden's life took a major turn. He realized this wasn't just Afghanistan's war. It was a big challenge to Islam. In 1984, he went to Afghanistan and joined the Afghan Mujahideen. There, in addition to fighting directly, he started gathering financial help from wealthy Saudi families. At the same time, he encouraged Muslim volunteers from around the world to come to Afghanistan. He used his family's wealth for this. His role in this war was twofold. First, he fought as a warrior himself. Second, and probably more important, he became a focal point for collecting money and volunteers from Muslims worldwide. This role brought him recognition in the Muslim world. This war established him from an ordinary person to a fighter and then a leader. His experience in this war taught him to believe that a well-organized group could defeat a major superpower. The formation of Al-Qaeda and initial goals. Towards the end of the Soviet-Afghan War, in 1988, Osama bin Laden, along with some of his associates and followers, created an organization called Al-Qaeda. In Arabic, Al-Qaeda means the base or the foundation. Their main goal was to create a strong, organized, and international jihadi network. Initially, Al-Qaeda's main goal was to remove the military influence of the United States and its allies from Muslim countries. According to Osama bin Laden, the Western military presence in Muslim countries was a major threat to Islam. In 1990, deeply angered him. He believed that the presence of infidel soldiers near the holy sites of Mecca and Medina was a type of insult. At this time, Al-Qaeda set several other goals, such as removing Western influence from the Muslim world, the destruction of the State of Israel, the establishment of Palestinian rights, the establishment of Islamic rule in Muslim countries. From the time it was formed, Al-Qaeda started carrying out various terrorist attacks, which permanently attached the word terrorist to their name. Ideological evolution. The reasons for becoming an extremist. Osama bin Laden's ideology didn't become extremist overnight. The Soviet-Afghan War experience. After winning this war, he began to believe that a simple Muslim could defeat a superpower. This belief created a self-confidence in him that a major power like the United States could be defeated. The Gulf War. In 1990-91, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, Saudi Arabia asked for help from the United States. U.S. troops were deployed to Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden saw this as a direct insult. He believed that Muslims themselves were enough to protect a holy land like Saudi Arabia. As a result, he turned against the Saudi royal family. Exile from Saudi Arabia. When the Saudi government learned of Osama's extremist activities, they revoked his citizenship and expelled him in 1994. He then moved to Sudan, which further intensified his extremist mindset. The influence of Abdullah Azzam. His mentor, Abdullah Azzam, had the idea of taking jihad to a global level. Just as Azzam had used the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood, Osama also started to follow that path. After all these events, Osama bin Laden not only believed in the political application of Islam, but also started to believe that violence was the only way to achieve victory against the infidels. This thought pushed him to carry out terrorist attacks worldwide through Al-Qaeda. Terrorist activities, some facts and evidence. Several events are cited as reasons for identifying Osama bin Laden as a terrorist. Al-Qaeda took responsibility for these attacks, where investigations found a link to them. The 1993 World Trade Center bombing. This was the first bombing at the World Trade Center in New York. Although there was no evidence of Osama bin Laden's direct involvement in this attack, it is believed there was an Al-Qaeda link. The 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings in Tanzania and Kenya. More than 200 people were killed in this attack. The U.S. investigation found evidence of Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden's direct involvement. After this, the United States declared Osama the most wanted terrorist. The 2000 attack on the USS Cole. A suicide attack was carried out on the U.S. Navy warship USS Cole off the coast of Yemen. In this attack, 17 U.S. sailors were killed. Al-Qaeda admitted responsibility for this attack, the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The attack on September 11, 2001 was the biggest and most infamous event of Osama bin Laden's life. 19 Al-Qaeda members hijacked 4 planes and crashed them into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in this attack. Osama bin Laden himself admitted responsibility for the attack through a video message, which established him as the #1 terrorist in the world. The intelligence agencies of the United States and other Western countries presented undeniable evidence of Al-Qaeda's connection to these attacks. The information they released showed that Osama bin Laden and his associates had a direct role in the planning, financing, and execution of the attacks. Osama bin Laden's portrayal in Western media. In Western media, Osama bin Laden has almost always been portrayed as a ruthless, cold, and fanatical terrorist. This portrayal became even stronger after the 9/11 attacks. Most Western news media portrayed any of his actions simply as terrorism. However, some critics accuse this portrayal of bias. They say that the Western media didn't properly address the reasons behind his rise and his ideology. For example, a deep analysis of why he was angry at the United States, or why he turned against the Saudi royal family, was often avoided. Some groups allege that the Western media established him as a monster in order to create legitimacy. These debates arise because one side sees him only as an extremist, while another side tries to find some political and historical context behind his actions. Non-Western sources and alternative viewpoints. Non-Western sources and some alternative viewpoints try to view Osama bin Laden differently. In some parts of the Muslim and Arab world, he was even seen as a hero. The reasons for this viewpoint are: as a protector of Islam, many Muslims believe that Osama bin Laden fought against US imperialism and its allies, who were unfairly dominating Muslim countries. To them, he was a mujahid, a warrior who fought to protect Islam. As an anti-American leader, Osama bin Laden directly declared the United States his enemy. For this reason, those who were against the policies of the United States or its interventions in the Middle East supported Osama bin Laden. His support for Palestinians and his stance against Israel made him popular among many Arabs. Historical context. Some non-Western sources believe that Osama bin Laden's rise was not sudden. It was the result of a long history of Western countries' intervention and exploitation in Middle Eastern politics. They believe that Osama was the result of all that injustice and oppression. In this view, Osama bin Laden might not have been seen as a terrorist, but there are still debates about the brutality of his actions and the killing of innocent people. Was Osama bin Laden a terrorist? The answer to this question depends on your perspective. From a legal standpoint, the United States, the United Nations, and most Western countries have identified him as a terrorist. There is evidence that he directly planned and financed terrorist attacks. He himself admitted responsibility for the 9/11 attacks. According to international law, killing innocent people and planning attacks are considered terrorist acts. So from this perspective, he was a terrorist. From an ideological standpoint, Osama bin Laden did not consider himself a terrorist. He considered himself a mujahid, or a warrior of Islam. To him, his actions were part of jihad, which was necessary to protect Islam. In his opinion, the people he killed were enemies of Islam. From a historical standpoint, historians analyze the reasons behind his actions. They say that his rise was a complex combination of Western policies, Middle Eastern politics, and Islamic extremism. He was a historical figure whose actions changed the course of politics, security, and religion worldwide. Based on all the facts and evidence, it's safe to say that Osama bin Laden was a controversial figure. His actions harmed millions of people, and innocent people died. Although he saw himself as a warrior, the brutality of his actions has internationally branded him as a terrorist. His life was like a complicated story, where power, religion, and politics were strangely mixed. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our See you next time.